Thank you for visiting Trade Federation's Agricultural Channel.
In this video, we're going to feature and highlight some sprouts that just randomly came up in the mulch pit, after throwing different vegetables and fruits and different things into that mulch pit and stirring it around. Some time had gone by without it being stirred, and there was a little surprise in there. So I decided to go for it, take the sprouts out. We had quite a few. There must have been about 30 of these things coming out of there. Went ahead and transplanted them in a couple small groups, some up on the hills and some in the little valleys of the garden bed. And it looks like the ones that were actually in the valley where the water goes typically ended up being the strongest and biggest plants, maybe because it's nice churned soil, and it also collects most of the water in case it wasn't getting enough water. Those two also are under some shade of a tree, so they probably have less evaporation as well, and a little bit of protection from both the dirt on both sides of it and then above from the tree. Most likely these sprouts came from a Husky Red Tomato Plant that we had in the same garden, and had thrown many of the different leaves and some of the tomatoes that weren't going to be edible into the mulch pit with everything else that goes in. That plant produced for about 4 months straight. So there's a good chance that these sprouts came from that plant. The reason why we also think it's from the same plant, the leaf type is pretty much the same as what we had seen in our last videos for the Husky Red Tomato Plant. And the leaf is not only the same in pattern but also in color. And the stalk on this plant is starting to get fairly strong fairly quickly, so it has a lot of the same characteristics so far. But we're going to have to wait and see. This could be a couple more months into it before we get any further signs of what's going to develop from this plant.
Thank you for joining us today, and be sure to return for more agricultural videos. Subscribe today.